Aaron Donald when he tried to get paid early, and he was like he's going to hold out. Let him hold out. Let him hold out. Guess what? That's a check you don't have to write.
Yeah.
You still have his rights, and you can still sign him later.
Eric, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What makes this advantageous for the Niners whatsoever to hold off on signing Deebo? Because you said if he just goes out there and does it, he's going to get paid, or he'll eventually get paid. And I agree with you, but the question I guess I have is that every signing, Cooper Kupp's going to get an extension, DK, AJ Brown, every single one of these signings is going to make them more expensive. So, like, what's going through the organization's mind if they're going to be paying Deebo and taking care of him?
Okay, well, I don't have to pay. What am I going to pay you? Where am I going to slot you? Where am I going to put you? Because I can sign you now. I can sign you early. But if I sign you early, you got to sign at my price. I'm speaking for the organization right now. If you're a free agent, now we can look at the market. What does it demand? I'm signing you early. So if I'm signing you early, you're coming at me with the numbers. If
Froze up. Hope he comes back. He was speaking facts, man.
Yeah.
Davis.
if you're coming, number one, I don't have to. Number two is that you haven't performed to put yourself in that category yet. So just because you're up doesn't mean that you're the next to take the leap. Because you're right about the Cooper Kupps and all of those guys, but look who you're talking about. Cooper Kupp. Yeah. A lot of people will argue and say he's not the best receiver, and that's fine because best is subjective.
Yeah.
Productive is not subjective. He's the most productive receiver in the NFL. So when he's up, he's going to jump if his production stays the same. Deebo hasn't done that yet consistently. All of those other guys, and remember what I told you guys about they always move the bar? Deebo had a hell of a year. Pro Bowl, all pro. You know what they're going to say? Those other guys that got paid, they've done it more than you.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Yeah.
While he's in this moment. So that's what the Niners are going to look at. That's what they're going to use in the negotiations, be it right or not. That's what they do.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's one thing we've said is the fact of the matter is the Niners are going to say, okay, prove it to me again.
Hey, fellas, I just saw my wife come out of here, and I love talking to you guys, but guess what? She looks way better than all of you.
Hey,
I got to go.
Happy life. We love you,
All
man.
right, man.
Thank you for coming in.
Appreciate the invite.
Yeah,
love you, man.
Appreciate you, man.
My man Eric Dave, that was some good advice, and insight from a player, from the player's perspective. Because again, we're over here seeing it from a different angle. He's a former player, and that was some really good insight from Eric Davis. I hit it on the head. Is honestly, the Niners want to see some consistency, and that's one thing we were saying a couple weeks ago when all this stuff started to happen. Is maybe the Niners want to say, hey, look, and remember, I keep going back to the Niner way of. Prove it to us again, Debo. Show us you can be consistent. Because look at the receivers that got paid. Tay Adams, Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill. Those guys have done it and put those numbers up for a couple seasons. And I'm not taking anything away from Debo's season. It was a hell of a season. Epic year, Smitty. It was so amazing. You know how much he put the team on his back. But again, if you're going to cash in on one year, it's hard to expect to be paid towards the top because, you got to show that consistency. And I know it's a whole new era, but players in their third year, they typically don't break the market value. This is unprecedented. It's uncharted waters, and I think Debo deserves to get paid. But maybe the amount he wants, maybe it's a little high compared to what the Niners want. And that's one thing that we said when all this first started. And that's where I think where if they can't reach that medium in between, this is what I've said so many times. If they can't reach that number in between, it's going to be bad, and they got to do a trade. And that's where I think it is right now.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting, and he kind of took a little bit of both of what we've been saying. Like you're adamant about the wing, the wide back being something he doesn't want to play now, and me being adamant about that's BS, and then him being in the middle saying it's what he's saying to get the contract, but he really does want to play wide back. So we're kind of he's taking both of what we're saying, and it makes sense. Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is this is going to get messy. I just don't know if the Niners are wanting to trade him. I think they're literally going to take the stance because that report came out, and we don't know how accurate that report is, but the report said, hey, we have no interest in trading Debo Samuel. But I think that's more of a posture move because, like you said, it's lying season. It's basically just, hey, we're not trading Debo, but come with your strongest offer and make us, accept something that we can't refuse. But I really believe they're going to take a hard line stance. Like, you can't come with a 20 overall pick and a second rounder. You literally got to come like the Jets. The Jets are the number one, like you said and I've said, the number one buyer because they've got the 4, they've got the 10. The Niners will probably ask for both, but, you're going to get at least the 4. Or guess what? Close the door. And the Jets have been just dying for a wide receiver, bro. They've been trying everybody. Hill.
Not only that, yeah, they've been trying to go for Hill. I've read there's been certain articles produced and there's reports that Robert Salah is looking for his Debo Samuel, the next Debo. What's better than Debo Samuel? Because everybody always says, "Oh, you can just replace Debo. Who's the next Debo?" Like we've talked about this in the live before. Well, who's going to be the next Debo? If you can get the Debo Samuel, I think Robert Salah will be all over it. They got a good relationship. They've been on the same team before. When Salah was the DC at the Niners, so. I think they're the front runner. They got a lot of value, draft capital. John Lynch loves them. He loves a draft pick, baby. So it's interesting. I do think, man, Eric Davis, he put everything in perspective today. Everything we've been trying to say, and he said it so nice because it's good to hear it from someone that's been in the league. He knows it. And negotiation is just that. It's business, man, and it's shiesty business. And I can see why Debo's mad. He's probably like, dog, this is not what I expected. It's probably really shiesty, and he doesn't like it. But then at the same time, the Niners are like, yo, just be patient. And that's one thing I keep saying is the Niners want patience. Like, yo, we're in draft season. You got to wait for us. And then again, I think Deebo doesn't want it to be patient. He wants it to happen because I think they could have paid him already, and that's what we said. But one thing I really like what Eric Davis says, we always talk about smoke season. He straight up just said lying season. I like that term. This lying season, bro. Everybody and their mom out here is lying right now. That was classic, man.
Yeah. We'll see what happens, man. I mean, ultimately, if I had to guess how this is going to go, I'm going to say it's 50-50. He gets traded. I think the only way he gets traded is if the Niners get an offer they can't refuse. I think they're going to take that approach. They're going to play hardball. They're going to ask for the world. And if they don't get it, guess what they're going to tell Debo? You have no leverage. They're not going to say that to him, but they know that they can reference that he's under contract. He can't hold out in today's NFL. He could try. He can do what he wants, but he's going to come back and play. I just hope to God the Niners see the value in making him happy and giving him the deal before letting him roll into 2022 and trying to prove it again. At the very least, upsize his 1 year a little bit, give him another $15 million or something. But give him a contract extension and get this ball rolling, because I can promise you that if Deebo re-signs, we won't hear any negativity. Everybody's going to love him again. They're going to be hypocritical people jumping right back on the Deebo bandwagon. But I don't care, because we're going to be excited that we have all the fantasy football options back in place. And
at the end of the day, you're right. When he signs, everybody will be hyped up on the boy.
Bro.
People switch up fast. They switch up so fast, man. So
yeah, I can't wait till we see the same names come across that we're like, wait a minute. I remember seeing that person say some pretty negative things against Deebo. Now they're saying Debo season. Yeah. So hey, Raj, I'm putting you on YouTube right now. Metcalf. What's up, YouTube? Metcalf, McLaurin, DK Metcalf, McLaurin, or AJ Brown, Deebo. Rank them in order of most likely to be traded by or on draft day.
Oh, fuck. You put it on the spot. Number 1, Debo Samuel, man. He's number 1. He's going to be the number 1 with all this stuff going on. Debo, number 1. Number 2, DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
Number 3, Terry McLaurin.
Yep.
Number 4, AJ Brown.
Yeah. I think I rank it slightly different, but very close. DK, then I say Debo, then I say McLaurin, and then I say AJ Brown probably not getting traded, because the Titans have the most to lose by getting rid. I mean, the Niners do too, but they don't realize it, I guess. But the Titans, they were the number 1 seed last year in the conference. They think they can march right back to that standing. So they're going to say, what good are we if we get rid of A.J. Brown? They'll give A.J. Brown whatever he wants. And that's where we're going to run into a problem because now A.J. Brown's going to get 80 to 85 million guaranteed. And I know what Eric Davis was saying, that he's not going to get paid what Cooper Kupp is, but I didn't get to give him a follow-up question. Bottom line is, whether Cooper Kupp is on his level or not, Cooper Kupp's going to pull all the guaranteed money and all the contracts upward.
And I you're saying though, but I remember we texted about this, and I did say I was kind of on Eric Davis' side on this. I'm not saying that your argument is not valid. You always have strong takes, Smitty, but I do see Cooper's a little different, man, because he's been doing this a little bit longer. There's that, more consistency, and the way Eric Davis put it, man, it really hit me, is his productivity. He may not be the best wide receiver in the league. You can argue that there's other receivers that are better, but the productivity that he puts is so. It was so amazing last year, and he's been consistently improving every year. And the fact of the matter is, he tore his ACL a couple years back, and for him to be able to put the body of work he did last year, 2 years removed from the ACL surgery, that's fucking amazing. Like, excuse my language, but that is amazing, bro. Triple count and receive. He led the receivers in pretty much every category, man.
But
just because he gets the bag doesn't mean he's going to raise the bar that much for everybody, because he had a ridiculous year, Smitty. Like, nobody came close to that,
But what if you're making that argument though? Wouldn't Debo Samuel be the second best player in the league if you're talking about production standpoint?
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like,
and that's to Debo's. So that would be a strong negotiation tactic for Debo. Debo, if you're listening, Debo's brother, if you guys are listening, use our advice. Man, we're trying to help you. Follow me back, Debo.
Debo's mama, Debo's brother, they're all in our live streams, and we need them to relay the message. But like, the one thing I disagree with Eric Davis, not that he's obviously got so much knowledge and stuff, but the one thing I disagree with is that I think that you'd have to be how do I word this? You'd have to be a pretty inept organization to literally sit down and try and explain to someone like Debo that your numbers don't add up to get paid. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be able to say, look, okay, wait a second. Sum total, I was one of the best wide receivers in the league. And I think in the end, some teams inept teams may try and evaluate it that way, but I think a smart organization's not going to pull that card. They're going to be like, look, you add up all your stats together. This is what you did. You balled out. So I don't think you can. That's crazy though.
No, he's Eric Davis is right. They're shiesty and negotiating.
Right.
They say, okay,
inept, totally not.
Here's it as a wide receiver. They're gonna pull that card out, Smitty. Like, that's why the NFL. That's why these players fight and try to get let. They know it's a dirty game, Smitty. It's dirty, bro.
Yeah.
I've had players tell me in the DMs like, oh man, this contract negotiates. Like, I've had players, agents reach out to me like, hey, can you tweet this out? Show my player's stats. He's not getting the buzz out there. And that's why these players go to social media, because they know they can get their name out there, buzz their name out there, and get that hype. And it creates more, pressure on the front office to be like, oh, he's a hot commodity. Look at what he's done. And then people start talking about you. They're going to be like, okay, we got to pay him. But they're going to the table, and they're going to really break it down. They got stat guys on their team that break, like, okay, you had 12% of carries, like Rappaport in that report. He goes, how he broke it down at the end, his usage of carries and stuff. That's how they do it, man. In these contract negotiations, it's shiesty business, man. And players know that. And players are getting smarter, and they're getting a little bit more aggressive. And again, a lot of people don't like the tactics that these players are taking. The social media scrubbing. It's 2022, man. It's a whole new game.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think I still say 50-50 that a trade ends up happening. I think there's still a 50% chance everybody's going to be singing Kumbaya, holding hands, walking into 2022. But let's just put it this way. The Niners have chosen the most difficult, curvy, upward path to get there that you could possibly choose. Like, let's just admit that right now. Like, you could have made this a simple offseason, but no, you decided to take the longest path up the mountain. Like, what the hell? Like, why?
Bro,
Why?
But I was driving home from work, and I FaceTime you and C-Mac. I said, this is exactly what I said. I said, I don't know if you were on the call at that point. Oh, I was talking to C-Mac, and I was FaceTiming him, and I said, yo, man, the Niners literally are the most dramatic team in that. They are the most dramatic team. Every offseason is drama. I've been following this team for years and years, and I've been posting about this team and covering this team since like 2012. And every single year is packed with drama. I'm like, bro, I'm losing my mind. My hairs are getting gray. I know I'm getting older, but shit, bro. I had gray hairs at like 31 years old, man.
Dude, we're aging like presidents, bro. You know how presidents, 4 years is like 15 years? I feel like that's what this is doing to us. But
this team is so dramatic. There's always drama. It's like a soap opera. You know, like I said, it's like days of our lives. These are the days of our Niners. Like, that's literally what it is almost every day. And then we come on here live and we getting hyped and dramatic. We're dramatic too. Shit, I know I'm probably the most dramatic guy out there, man. But y'all love the entertainment. But shit, man, it's crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
It is crazy, bro. Anyway, I got to get back to the YouTube live, but I appreciate you letting me jump on and talk with you guys. And I don't know, I'll be live later tonight on IG to talk more.
We'll come back a little later. I had to, I know the masses were waiting for us to talk.
Yeah.
We had 1,000 people on the live tonight, man.
Yeah, that was pretty. Hey, post this.
Yeah, I'll post it on the story or in my live art. I'll post it on the.
All right.
I'll post it up.
I'll be back tonight.
Eric Davis, but I just want to say I fucking love you guys. We posted. We got 185K today. Number.
Congrats, man.
For tonight. Yeah, so I appreciate you guys.
All right, I'll be back tonight. Congrats on the 185, and on YouTube, go follow Raj. Make it a 186.
My boy Moose is calling me. I gotta take this.
All right, later.
Y'all later.
Okay, so appreciate you guys hanging for that, and I see some of the comments like, do we really have to go over this again? Like, Aaron, I understand you don't want to hear about Niners 24/7, and I try not to. Like, I understand that on Instagram I do a lot of Niner stuff. I'm on Niner shows. What do you want from me on Instagram? On YouTube, I don't let it spill over. I don't do all Niner talk. I'm not Niner geared at all on YouTube. It just so happens Debo Samuel's in the news every 5 minutes. It just so happens there's all kinds of trades. I've got other wide receivers on the screen right here. And if you don't want to hear about Debo Samuel, you might not want to tune in for the next couple days, because the next live will probably be a lot on Debo Samuel. Not all of it. I have a lot of topics here to talk about the next wide receiver, DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, McLaurin. We're going to discuss all that right now. But what do you expect when there's nothing but non-stop Debo Samuel news? What do you want from me? I am an NFL show. I'm also a fantasy football show, but I'm going to cover any hot topic that's going on in the NFL. So I'm not going to just cover Niners. I've never done that on the YouTube channel. I don't go out of my way to talk about Niners. I talk about Trey Lance because I love Trey Lance. I talk about Trey Lance because I think Trey Lance is going to be a top 5 to 10 quarterback in fantasy football in 2022. I do. And even if Deebo leaves, they will make a trade where they get a Treylon Burks or an Olave or a wide receiver of that caliber, most likely to come in and take the place of Ayuk, and Ayuk take the place of Deebo. They've got Mitchell, they've got Kittle. It's going to be still a very productive offense, and the defense will be quite better if they end up trading for a couple first round picks. I get it. You may not like the Niners, but your boy Smitty's going to cover every single piece of breaking news. If it's the Niners, it's going to get covered. It's the Seahawks, it's going to get covered. Think about what I did during the Aaron Rodgers situation, okay? Aaron Rodgers, I went live for like 10 straight hours awaiting the Aaron Rodgers announcement. Aaron Rodgers. Every live stream was Aaron Rodgers for like 4 or 5 straight live streams, because that was the hot topic. Right now, Debo's all over the news. You're going to hear about Debo constantly because that's what's going on. I think your boy Smitty's pretty fair with trying to provide very, very balanced content here. On Instagram, I agree. I'm going to be a lot of Niner heavy content because I'm on a Niner show pretty much every single night on my Instagram live. You're going to hear a lot of Niner content, but I still produce a lot of other content on Instagram through my stories, everything. So I'm constantly, but you're going to hear more Niner talk, and it's not going to stop. It's not. So if you don't want to watch because there's Niner talk on, then you don't want to know what's going on in the NFL, because that's what's going on. If you're interested in fantasy football, if you're a fantasy football nut, Smitty is the best channel on YouTube. Thank you, Spacula. Appreciate that. Deebo to the Jets makes me sad, says Matt. Jack is dropping the thumbs up. Let's go. I don't like the 49ers going forward because Shanahan is so unpredictable and will kill player stats. Maybe. What's up, media? Appreciate you being here. What's up, Lit7? Appreciate you. And you're also in the Cooper Cup League. Appreciate you. Okay. Where were we at? Wesley says, missed the show. Well, the show's still going. Stop by to smash the like button. Be easy, Smitty. Appreciate you, Wesley. Okay. We appreciate you, but you might be a closet Niner fan. The thing is, I'm on a Niner show. Like, you're going to hear me support I'm a Niner supporter for sure. I'm on a Niner show, bro. But if you actually listen to me, I'm literally critiquing and being critical of a lot of the stuff the Niners are doing because I don't agree with much of any of it. So, am I a Niner fan? A lot of people call me a Niner hater on the show, and I'm not trying to do that either. I'm just very honest with the way things are going, and the Niners have literally taken the longest road up the mountain that you could possibly take. Their offseason road that they've mapped out is the longest path possible to get to the end point. It is an absolute ridiculous path that they've chosen. Every single step they've taken pretty much has been a disaster step. Let's get to the voicemails for today and answer some of these questions. We got one from Tariq right here. Tariq sent this one a little earlier.
Hey Smitty, it's Tariq. I just wanted to take a quick second and to say thank you for all you do and for breaking the news multiple times today and doing one live, an emergency stream on the Debo Samuel and Adam Schefter deal. Thanks again, pal.
Smitty is a Cardinals fan, right? I'm a Cardinal fan. Half my family's from Arizona, half my family's from Buffalo, so I'm a huge Josh Allen and Buffalo Bill supporter as well. But I live in Arizona. They're my team, and I'm fantasy football first, though. Kenny Powers says that Smitty is super critical of them. LOL. Gotta watch the show to see it. Yeah, I am. A lot of people get mad at how critical I am about the Niners. So I'm like the critiquer of the Quad Box Niners show. Like, I'm literally going, this is what they're doing wrong. But it's not like I'm trying to nitpick. Shanahan and the Niners do a lot wrong. They do a lot right, and I give them credit for that too. But they do a lot wrong. Joel says, Niner market is massive. No harm in zooming in on them a bit. Much love, Smitty. And I'm not even like, Joel, not even trying to zoom in on them in a weird strategic way. Like, literally, these players are in the news. Like, Deebo is the hottest topic right now in the NFL. How long am I going to be live on draft day? I don't know. I'll be live on a combination of Instagram and YouTube. YouTube to break down the landing spots, maybe Instagram, maybe both when the spots are when the draft is going on. The watch party during the draft isn't as big as you would think on YouTube. People want to watch it. They don't necessarily want to watch it alongside. But the after the draft will be massive, I believe, in terms of people coming to check out what it is I think and we think of the landing spots and breaking down everything and being like, hey, this is what I think of Breece Hall now. This is what I think of Kenneth Walker. So most likely, or absolutely almost with a certainty, I'll be live on Instagram during the entire draft. Live, we had over 5,000 people in our Instagram live stream at one moment for about 30 minutes straight. We had 5,000 people, and then it dipped between like 1,500 and 2,000 the entire live during the entire first round of the 2021 NFL draft. So you can bet we're going to have like thousands of people in the Instagram live. Before I'll be on YouTube, after I'll be on YouTube, I'll be breaking stuff down all day long. Probably till the wee hours of the night.
Hey Smitty, it's Tariq. When's this Debo Samuel drama gonna end?
Not anytime soon. So get ready for more live streams. And I make no apologies for it. I guess I apologize if you are getting tired of it, but I make no apologies that if there is a player in the news, regardless of what team it is, I will be reporting on it. I'm not going to dial it back because I've done too much Niner talk. Like Deebo, this is the hottest topic in the NFL and in the sports world right now, because every half a day something's being released that's now needs to be analyzed. Debo Samuel turned comments off on his Instagram post. Oh my God, someone's going to report on that. Debo Samuel requested a trade. Right down here, you see Debo Samuel requested a trade, or did he? We don't even know if that is fully what happened yet. It was said that he requested it back in April, and it's been on the hush. Your boy Smitty said he's going to request a trade, and I've been saying it for the whole week, and then it released right now. But we don't even know 100% if that's true. Because Deebo put out this tweet right here just about an hour or two ago that said, reporters' jobs is to make stories only people know the truth about only people, I think he's trying to say the only people that know the truth about the situation is the 49ers, Tory Dandy, his agent, and Debo Samuel. So that's what Debo Samuel said, and I believe Debo then deleted this tweet. So this tweet was like it says right here, 3:19 p.m. Pacific time. So that would be 6:19 p.m. Eastern, and then he deleted it. But this right here, I believe, is saying, hey, everybody's making up stories about me not wanting to play wide back. Everybody's making stories up about me halting trade talks, which I told all of you last night that Adam Schefter was reporting on this in a way that I considered it trash reporting. Like he was acting as if he had these insights or sources, essentially the way he spoke about it. And Debo didn't halt trade talks. Debo probably isn't going back to the table because the Niners are offering him an offensive amount of money and maybe not even offering him anything any longer. It's probably, hey, come to the table so we can tell you, hang tight while we figure things out, because the Niner ways to wait on signing contract extensions until July or August. And Debo knows that. Debo doesn't want to waste his time going back to the table, walking away, and it being more his fault. And instead, the media paints these pictures that they don't really know anything about. And it's lying season, as Eric Davis said, who joined us at the top of the show, which was awesome to have him on and talk to him. Eric Davis, former NFL player and former Niner. Eric Davis came on at the very beginning, so rewatch it if you missed it. And he was shedding a little light on the Debo Samuel situation. Next question from
Hey, Smitty, it's Tariq again.
Tariq again.
What's your take on Brendan being the GM of the Buffalo Bills, saying that he might take a chance on taking a running back, i.e. Breece Hall? If Breece Hall lands in the Buffalo Bills, do you think that's a good landing spot for him? Thanks, Paul.
What has your boy Smitty been saying about Breece Hall or Kenneth Walker to the Buffalo Bills? I've been saying it's the best landing spot for a running back. I've been saying it's going to probably happen. The Buffalo Bills know what it's like now to have a balanced football team and a balanced attack. The Buffalo Bills are unstoppable when they're running the ball and throwing the ball, and defenses don't know what they're going to get. That's when the Bills took a big step forward last season, heading into week 15, 16, 17, 18, into the playoffs. This team, the last 6 games, scored 9 TDs on the ground, all of which went to Devin Singletary. Not 9 total TDs, receiving and rushing. I think it was 8 TDs on the ground. I believe 1 receiving TD. 9 total TDs for Devin Singletary, 8 rushing, 1 receiving, and a handful of 70 and 80 and 100-yard games that he had some total in that 9-week span. This boy knows how to ball, Breece Hall, and if he gets into this situation, he's going to go crazy. Now, could the Bills keep Singletary? Yeah, could they address cornerback in the first round and then maybe get another running back later, like Robinson or Zamir White or something, and then try and do a Zach Moss and Singletary thing again? I think that won't work. I think you need to go after a big name guy. You have one right in your grip, your kung fu grip. Don't let a guy slip through your fingers that's named Kenneth Walker. Don't let a guy that's named Breece Hall slip through your fingers. These are top 5 to 10 NFL running backs, and if the Buffalo Bills land one, it is top 5 running back season for whoever lands in Buffalo. Kind of hope it's Kenneth Walker.
What's going on? So I've decided to just go to the guy with the first overall rookie pick. Would you trade away Nick Chubb and Saquon for the first overall rookie pick and then the second round pick? So it's the first pick in the second round.
Nick Chubb and Saquon Barkley for Breece Hall or Kenneth Walker. You get to decide, right? Because your draft, I'm sure, is later after the draft, after the NFL draft. So Nick Chubb and Saquon for the 2.1 and 1.1. Give me the 1.1 and 2.1 because I think you could potentially land a guy that eventually could be better than Saquon at the 2.1 if you hit the pick. But I'm not a big Chubb believer for the long term. I think that if you're in win now mode, maybe you keep the two running backs, I suppose. If you're in rebuild mode or in just build mode period, you trust that the league isn't going anywhere. It'll be there for the long haul. I probably would go Breece Hall or Kenneth Walker. But make no mistake about it, Nick Chubb could have a big year. He could also have a confusing year because Watson may or may not be in the lineup. But give me the rookie running back because you get to decide what it is that you're doing with that pick. You get to pick the running back. If both of them land in great spots, you get to decide which one to take. And odds are one of them will be in a very good spot. Are you running a little bit of a risk that maybe both of them land in cloudy spots and neither one of them's top 5 to 10? I suppose. But I think this is a top 5 overall, top 6 overall player, whoever you end up landing at the 1.1. And while Nick Chubb is around 12 to 13 to 14 overall in redraft, in Dynasty, I would venture to say I wouldn't take Nick Chubb until maybe the late second to early third round, and Barkley past that. So I guess you're asking me, is the 1.1 equate to like 1.6 overall? Like if I was trading a veteran, I would trade somebody around 1.7, 1.8, 1.9 for Breece Hall or Kenneth Walker, whoever ends up being the guy in Buffalo. So let's just call it Breece Hall. So people freak out about Kenneth Walker. Like, he's such a risk. You don't know where. So let's use Breece Hall. Would you trade likely Breece Hall as the 1.1? Would you trade the 7 or 8 or 9 overall pick for Breece Hall in a dynasty? Like whoever you're taking, like let's say it's a wide receiver that you're taking there. Let's say you're taking Tyreek Hill or, whoever. I would rather have the 1.1. Nick Chubb in a startup dynasty is like third round, maybe end of the second, third round. Saquon Barkley's third or fourth round. So are you really going to pass up on a top 6 overall pick is what Breece Hall would equate to. If you throw all the rookies into a dynasty startup, I have Breece Hall in the top 6 to 10. So give me a top 6 to 10 pick instead of giving me a top of the third and like a 5th rounder in Barkley. Barkley's not a third rounder to me in dynasty. Could he bounce back? I suppose. Absolutely love Kenneth Walker. I hope Kenneth Walker is the guy in Buffalo. I do.
Smitty, hey, Stormcat here.
Stormcat.
You've been talking about the big 4 receivers that you think are potentially going to be traded by draft day. I'm wondering who your take is on the top 3 teams that are the most likely landing spots for these top tier wide receivers. I would, in my opinion, I'd throw Green Bay and Philly in there, but I'm wondering what you think about that. Thanks.
Not Philly. Stormcat, I don't know if you're an Eagles fan and you're talking, using some hometown, love there, but Philly has been a disaster. Like Devontae Smith, I hope he develops there. I really do, and I love Devontae Smith. And I like Jalen Hurts more than the average person. I think he needs to be given a shot. And I've got a little news on that one, which I'll drop in a second on Jalen Hurts. Remind me if I don't post it before I'm leaving. Say, Smitty, Jalen Hurts, and I'll try it. But landing spot, let's break it down. Landing spot, you've got, I would say the number 1 place for one of these wide receivers is probably going to be Green Bay. Not in any particular order yet. Let's just throw them out there. Green Bay, Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens. They're a little lower, but on that list. Indianapolis Colts, a little lower, but on that list. Chargers might be number 1. I would want DK in an LA Charger uniform right now. Put him there. Denver Broncos. I know Judy's there. I know Cortland Sutton's there, but DK goes to Denver, he's the number 1 wide receiver there. So the Chargers, the Broncos, because you've got Russell Wilson, you've got Justin Herbert. Give me the quarterback combination all day long. Kansas City's up there. I think Cleveland's very interesting for DK Metcalf. McLaurin to Green Bay is very interesting, but I'm going to go out on record saying that I believe that one of DK, McLaurin, AJ Brown, or Deebo, DK, McLaurin, AJ Brown, one of those 4 wide receivers will be traded on or before draft day. Most likely DK. I could see DK going, like I said, to the Cleveland Browns, and they spent so much money on Watson. I could see them continuing to try and figure out a way if they can even do it financially. I think McLaurin and DK in Green Bay seems very likely. If I had to pick a spot for McLaurin, for some reason I picture him in Green Bay. I don't know why, but he may not get traded. Who knows? But Washington is in a position where they might cut him loose to get a bunch of future capital, because they're not built to win right now. They could have been if they went after a quarterback stronger, but they didn't. So, Caden.
For reference, that'll set me up with Swift, Brees Hall, and Michael Carter. And then my wide receivers will be Jefferson, Elijah Moore, and Ayuk. And then I'll have Kittle and Lance, so...
Oh. Drop the phone on my knee. Yeah, that's pretty good, bro. Asher.
Deebo is a beast. 49ers need to pay that man.
Pay the beast.
Smitty, where do you think the best landing spot for Deebo is if he's going to get traded as requested?
Best landing spot is not the most likely. Best landing spot, thank you for the question, Asher. I'd say best landing spot is probably Green Bay. I would say Cleveland, Chargers, and Broncos, and I think the Colts are okay. Ravens are okay. Jets are pretty good. Jets would be good. But I'd say, honestly, Browns, Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos might be the best location. Kevin.
My bad. More Debo talk.
That's right.
What do we think this pushes Kittle and Ayuk up the list if Debo leaves? Does that move Ayuk from wide receiver 2/3 to wide receiver 1? Does that make Kittle a better red zone threat?
It could help Kittle, but Kittle could also be asked to block more, because you got less stretch in the field. It's tough to say on Kittle. Kittle I kind of avoid. I'd rather have Dawson Knox or Dalton Schultz rounds later, to be honest with you. Kittle's not a big acquisition for me, a guy I'm attacking. I probably won't own Kittle in any redraft leagues. I have him in a Dynasty league, and nobody wants him. It sucks, even though he's got a lot of potential. Ayuk, I wouldn't put him at wide receiver 1, but he's capable of it. But you're going to want to put him as like a low-end wide receiver 2 in terms of draft capital. Now, of course, we can adjust and adapt if Deebo does get traded. We're going to have to come in and look at this different. We're going to have to come in and figure out where we feel comfortable mock drafting Ayuk, and maybe I'm drafting him higher than I anticipate. So we'll have to kind of wait and see on that. But keep this in mind. Everyone's saying, well, if Deebo's gone, then I guess Lance, that's not going to work. Guys, I get it. Deebo's great for Lance, and I admit not having Deebo will bum me out. Like, that'll definitely hurt Lance a bit. But let's keep in mind, how many teams in the NFL have weapons still that are as good as Kittle, Mitchell, Ayuk, and the rookie that they're going to draft in Olave or Burks or Christian Watson or Drake London will probably go earlier. But like, if they trade into if they get 2 first rounders or they get a first rounder, the 4 overall, and they take a guy like Sauce Gardner and they make a top 5 defense, like, then the offense is helped out more. Like, it'll work out as long as they draft a guy like Olave, which they may not do, and then I'll reassess it. Then it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Like, that's a lot of talent. There are very few teams in the NFL that have Kittle, Mitchell, Ayuk, and a rookie that they're gonna take. Very few. That's a lot of weapons. So he's gonna be fine. I'm gonna be upset that he doesn't have Deebo, but if he does.
I was just wondering what your thoughts were on Michael Thomas this year in redraft.
Who's that?
What do you think his ceiling could be? Maybe wide receiver 15?
I got a psych degree, okay? I profile for a living, all right? When I listen to these messages, I profile. Thrive Kid, I don't know if you're here, but this sounds like a man, Thrive Kid, that owns Michael Thomas, that can't get rid of Michael Thomas. So listen to the hope, and he's just hoping that I'm going to agree with him.
Yeah, I was just wondering what your thoughts were on Michael Thomas this year in
Please?
redraft. Do you think his ceiling could be maybe wide receiver 15?
Please?
I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks.
Thrive Kid, just hoping he can will me into a positive answer. Just talk me off the ledge. Tell me Michael Thomas can do it, Smitty. Please. 15? Please? Look, I trust Mike Thomas about as much as I trust the news on Deebo right now. I trust Mike Thomas less than I trust Adam Schefter with a fact-based report. We don't know what's going on with Mike Thomas. We have no clue. Last offseason, we had no clue as well. And look how that turned out. Could he be a top 10 wide receiver? I guess. I would not bet on it. I would not bet on it at any capacity. On any level. There's no way. No way. Matt, I was wondering who said, I was like, okay, someone's been saying this, and I knew it was going to get posted. There it is. It's Matt. It's Matt that's been saying this, because I was trying to remember who said it. MT fully healthy could be a wide receiver. No, it wasn't Matt then. Who said he's the number 1 wide receiver? Speak up. That wasn't Matt then. Matt's saying a wide receiver 1. If healthy, he could be a wide receiver 1. He could be a top 10 to 12 guy. Sure, maybe. Like, I would not count on it. I would not count on it at all. But somebody said he would be number 1, wide receiver 1. This is like the Christian McCaffrey thing. RB1, McCaffrey, RB1. Mike Thomas has done nothing to warrant anybody considering him even remotely close to a top 5 wide receiver. I'm not saying that person would draft Mike Thomas number 1. I think they would probably take advantage of the ADP, right? But good gracious, I mean, this guy has done nothing but disappoint. There's no way we can have even remotely high expectations for Mike Thomas to return. He's got to just impress us. Mike Thomas has just got to come back and just knock our socks off and be like, wow, that was surprising. I'm not investing much at all in Mike Thomas. In fact, I'm uncomfortable when I'm taking him in the 6th round in mock drafts. I feel like, what am I doing? What am I doing? So if you like MT at the bottom of 6 and maybe round 7 in 1 or 2 leagues, not all 10 of your leagues, Bob, then I'm okay with that 6-7 round range, and then you hope that he comes strong with a low end wide receiver 1 year. But Slant Boy has been out of the game for a bit, and I think expecting anything heavy is absolutely reckless. It could happen, but expecting it is reckless. I mean, just if healthy, Mike Thomas could be top 60. That's what I'm talking about. Mike Thomas, no number 1. You'll have a good value this year, but not the number 1 guy. Mike Thomas can catch 90 balls easy, says Aaron. Smitty, it's Thrive Kid. MT is my number 3. I have Chase and AJ. Nice. I was just kidding with you, just because you sounded so like you had a lot of hope. You sounded like a kid asking for a Christmas present from Santa. You're like, can I have the Red Ryder BB gun with the compass stock and a theme that tells theme that tells time or whatever. Thrive Kid was just excited. He wanted me to green light.
Schmitty, is D-Hop a top 10 wide receiver 2022?
You know, if I'm going to make fun of MT, I guess you got to make fun of me for liking D-Hop, but I think D-Hop definitely could be. I think D-Hop's a fantastic in 1 or 2 leagues, not even 50% of your leagues. 1 or 2 leagues, maybe 10, 20% of your leagues. DeAndre Hopkins is a great late 3rd round pick. Definitely a really good 4th round pick. I trust him way more than I trust MT. But I can't get mad at anybody that says they like Mike Thomas more than Hopkins. I mean, Hopkins got hurt too. But Hopkins feels like he's still in his legit, 1 to 2 year left window. MT, we don't know. We don't even know if MT can get on the field. So it's kind of a big difference to me. But I absolutely like Hopkins in 1 or 2 leagues. Not a lot of leagues. 1 or 2 leagues at that late third, early fourth. I think he could definitely be a top 10 wide receiver. Great questions, guys. I think that. Let's see if I got any other voicemails. I've been trying to check all my very, very late messages, and I'm getting back to people that send me messages in like August. I'm like, hey man, sorry I missed that. That's why you get a comment in my YouTube videos. I respond to every single comment in my YouTube videos. So just ask me a comment, test me. Here is Kadarius Toney news. I've been telling you guys to stay away from this kid for a while. Like at the right price, I would take him. He's got talent, right? So talent will make me take a risk on him. But what's a risk? Like this kid's he's a head case, and he's got emotional, like he isn't able to contain himself on the field. He's had 2 or 3 outbursts in his 1 year in a very short window of time when he was relevant, and he headbutted his own staff member on accident, but is just absolute wreck. This guy on the sideline just going like this, and he was like so frustrated with his play or something, or not getting the ball, and the staff member comes in to whisper, and he's like, "Ah!" just like headbutts the guy. He's like, "Oh my god!" And then instead of being like, "Dude, are you okay?" and feeling compassion for him, he gets like mad that it happened and storms off. Like, how dare you let me headbutt you in the face? And he goes storming off, and then at the end of the game gets in a fist fight. Like, this is in one game. Kadarius Toney is an untamed, reckless, loose cannon on the field and on the sideline. And in this report right here, Brian Dable told reporters that Kadarius Toney is not at voluntary minicamp and has not yet received a playbook. Like, way to start off, your second year, Kadarius. Way to just, kick it into gear. Nice job. And he's very reckless with his body. Very reckless with his body. Like, you want to talk about Akers? Akers is one of the most injury-prone running backs in the NFL, in my opinion. And I said that before he tore his Achilles. And you could say, Smitty, you can't predict torn Achilles. How dare you? What a dumb thing to say. You can say whatever you want. But I told you that Akers was one of the most injury-prone players running backs in the league. It dates back to college, how he plays, his style of play, his decision-making. And Akers' decision to come back 5 to 6 months into his Achilles recovery proves my point. He's very reckless with his body. He'll do whatever it takes to sacrifice his own health to get a yard, to complete a play, to get on the field and play meaningless reps where he doesn't even look explosive at all, causing potentially future damage to his Achilles. Akers is an avoid beyond avoids. Kadarius Toney feels very similar in the way he plays. Dude lands on his arms awkwardly. Just watch him play. He goes 1,000%, which is good. It's like, that's a nice thing. It's a good characteristic to give it your all on the field. But he also seems like the kind of guy that would give up too and quit a play. But when he's on the field, it's like this guy would just recklessly place his body in weird spots, falling on both of his arms on this one play, and I was like, oh my god, how did he not break his arm on that? Like, the dude's just reckless all over the place, on the sideline with the staff, in fist fights at the end of games, reckless with his own body. It just feels like a disaster. I said this last year. It feels like a lot of talent, but it's never going to materialize, or the odds of it materializing are hard to imagine. And this right here is just yet another little example of how he just doesn't get it. You know what I mean? Like, here, not reporting to voluntary minicamp, hasn't got the playbook yet. He's trying to get an edge up and grab a hold of maybe an opportunity to be the number 1 wide receiver in New York for a long time. This guy had the talent to really be a low-end wide receiver 1 or high-end wide receiver 2. Kadarius Toney has the physical gifts to maybe be an elite wide receiver 2 in fantasy football and in the NFL, which could be the number 1 for his team. I just don't think it's going to materialize. I'd take a gamble on him at the right spot, but just a disaster waiting to happen. So I'm staying away from that dude. Jalen Hurts, this is the first positive news we have heard about Jalen Hurts, I think, ever from this Philadelphia organization. When asked about drafting a quarterback in the 2023 NFL draft class, Eagles GM said, "We're excited about Jalen Hurts." Now, this could be posturing so that they don't have anybody know they're after a quarterback, and then that would make sense in hindsight. Oh, okay. That's why they were positive about Jalen Hurts. Darn. But this guy, I hope, gets traded. If I was the Pittsburgh Steelers, I would be, and I know they've already got their heart set on Trubisky, I would have been on the phone saying, we'll give you a draft pick, maybe not a high one, but maybe we give you a couple seconds or whatever. They want out of Jalen Hurts anyway. They doubt him very badly. You could have got him pretty cheaply. And while some will say he's trash, he's bad accuracy, Smitty, you're wrong, he's never going to be good. Look, I'm telling you, he's got potential if he's cultivated and molded and sculpted right. He's got potential. Now, he may never develop into anything. And no, I don't need you to say, hey, told you he wouldn't work out, because there's a strong likelihood that he's being set up for failure in Philly. So I would agree with you, actually, by saying that there's a big likelihood that he will fail because the team is setting him up for failure. Jalen Hurts was really, really good on the ground. He was very productive from a fantasy perspective. It's hard to be a very good fantasy quarterback and not have NFL potential. Like, to have numbers and output tells me something. And I think if Pittsburgh would have traded for him, goodness gracious, man, that would have been a phenomenal landing spot for Jalen. A couple other places, I suppose there's some good spots for him. Washington could have been okay. Give him Gibson, give him McLaurin. Maybe the Washington Commanders could have been a playoff team. But this is at least positive news for now until we find out that it's posturing to get a quarterback or something like that. Matt Ryan is going to lock on Michael Pittman like he did Julio, top 15. What say you, Smitty? I'm going to say it's possible. I like Pittman a lot. I don't know that I draft him as a high-end wide receiver 2 or anything, but he definitely has potential. I can't get mad at that take at all because I like Pittman. And Matt Ryan's a pretty darn mediocrely good quarterback. He's not great, but he's pretty good. He's decent. Like, the Colts did good. Colts, they got a great running game, and they could really move the football. And they might be one of those, like the Titans didn't feel like they're going to be as good as they were last year. Look at the Titans, number 1 seed last year in the conference. Maybe the Colts can do that. Maybe the Colts can be that one team where you're like, everything looks right except for the Titans are the number 1 seed. Like the Titans had talent, but even without Derrick Henry, they still grabbed the number 1 seed. For half of a year, they didn't have Derrick Henry, and they grabbed the number 1 seed. The Colts could be that surprising. It wouldn't shock me at all. Matt, take that out of the universe. What did Matt say? What did Matt say? Steelers heavily linked to Baker. Is that what you wanted to take away? What else? What other news do I have here? Debo Samuel. Niners have zero interest in trading him, according to The Athletic. Take all this with a grain of salt. Everything you hear on Debo from this moment moving forward, it's going to be half truth, half fiction. Think of it that way. It might be different balances of that each time in each case by case situation, but just keep in mind, half of the news we hear on Debo moving forward will be fake, and half of it will be true. Or one piece of news will have half truth, half fake context to it. So like Debo wants a trade. Maybe he said he wanted a trade if a deal couldn't get done. Like something like that. Or Debo's halted contract talks. Has he halted contract talks, or has he stopped showing up to a deal that's not going to get done? Like, you know what I mean? Take everything with a grain of salt, and I'll do my best to give you my prediction, but I don't even know. I'm giving you my best educated guess on some of this stuff. Pittman top 20 to 22, can't see top 15, says Kevin. Don't want Baker, or how in who's Baker that runs better? Pittman 20. Baker runs like his shoes are 2 sizes too small. Sorry, Kenny, but that's true. Sorry we're a little late today. I was live on Instagram talking with Eric Davis, and I thought I'd throw that. So if you missed that at the beginning, Eric Davis, former NFL player, was on with us on Instagram, and I decided to plug that in so you guys could get a taste of what was going on there and why I was late doing that. Appreciate everybody here. If there's any emergency stuff, I will be going live. We will start doing some mock drafts and some best balls very, very soon, so get ready for that. Be certain to be subscribed if you're new. Some of you actually aren't subscribed. You're watching, and the shows are getting recommended because you watch everything, but you haven't actually hit the subscribe button. And it's crazy when you look at the stats of how many people are returning that don't actually press the subscribe button, because I don't know why, but it helps your boy Smitty tremendously if you punch that subscribe button, hit that like button, smash it, and then leave me a comment, because I answer every single question pretty much 99.99%, unless someone slips past me or a reply doesn't really alert me the same way as an initial comment. So there's times where replies and like a thread could get stopped. I could stop answering a thread on accident, but I answer every comment I can. Subscribe, like, appreciate every single one of you. I'm live Monday through Friday, every single Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. So appreciate every single one of you. You can always find all my content at smitty1.com, all my links to everything. You can always find the show at thefantasyfootballshow.com if you ever get lost. And I'm live on Instagram every single night. Make sure you're following me at The Fantasy Football Show on IG. And if you want in the Cooper Cup League, I got a message from Caden. Caden, I will send you that information. If you want in the Cooper Cup League, we got like 10 to 15 spots left. It's $20 super chat. That's not an entry fee. It's just your way of saying thanks to the show, trying to help the show grow. And in return, I've created a major league with awesome prizes like this amazing like $150 to $300 ring, depending on the option you choose. It's like a heavy duty, feels like a Super Bowl ring. And then, of course, the Hall of Fame Niner helmet, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice autographs, all that. Join the league. DM me on Instagram if you want more information from me or how to join. Appreciate